Doomsday 3.
Yeah, we had Doomsday 1.
You get kicked out of the game. I'm going to get it again. No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix, most especially the course.
Praying for safety and
Got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass the ball. You better get your ball.
I just gotta say, when it comes to mortality,
Different.
for sure, and they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets off you.
And then I go to bed every night like, G man, I promise you that we got a special. What is up, Cowboys Nation? Boy, Mike Tag here. What is happening? You got Jimmy Dee is in the house. He came up, so I wasn't set. I'm gonna get this thing right. Where the hell are we? What's up, Jimmy Dee? What's happening?
What are you up to, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Welcome to the show, everybody. Football season is now upon us. You know, your boy's getting hype. Had a good weekend. Enjoyed myself. Now it's time to go to work. So we got to get this thing rolling. But before we do, Jimmy, how you doing, my man? How's your weekend?
It was a good weekend. And I want to get to your weekend in a minute. Last week we were at the shore, had a good time with a lot of good friends, threw a few adult beverages back. But tonight, I just jumped on just now. As you know, I said I might be a little late, but I made it on time. We're at a good friend's kid's birthday party, 11 years old. So, you know, we went and did pizza and had cake and all that good stuff. So, and actually it's Camel Piper's brother, Moose. I think you might have met him before. But anyway, so, you know, it's time for pizza. And look at the napkin. Look what I got to deal with. The kind of abuse I got to deal with. These are the napkins at his birthday party. This is what I got to deal with. So, you know, yeah, so there's that. So, but now it's a good time. And what about your weekend? It looks like somebody was testing you out at the.
There was. We had a nice weekend. It was a buddy of mine. It was his or ours, I even should say, at his 50th birthday. So it was a surprise party. So I had a good time and made the trek down to the East Coast, back to South Florida, and you know, everything was good. Let me fix this because it seems like I'm shorter than you are. Let me see. Get this right.
Well, you are.
So the get to everything right, and had a good time. Talked about some good memories, told some good stories, and then we went out later for you know, an after party. So I had a couple drinks, and I mind my business. Yeah, I mind my own business when I'm out, man. I stick with my crowd, and everyone's in the group, and lo and behold, you know, I'm repping my Cowboys, and an Eagle fan comes up to me, and we had a great conversation. Honestly, good dude. We were talking about the NFC East, talking about the Eagles, talking about the Cowboys. You know, what do the Eagles got to do? What do the Cowboys got to do? All that kind of good stuff. And I love good talking some football. So him and I are, you know, we're just kind of chatting it up. And then a young lady who was in our group, understand that, in our group, decided to interject herself and had some things to say about my Cowboys. But the irritating part of it was, Jimmy, is, you know, it wasn't like a Chiefs fan came and said something to me, or even an Eagles fan. I mean, geez, if they wanted to, I could take that and have this is a damn
Buccaneers fan, damn it.
Dolphins fan. Miami Dolphin fan. They hadn't won a playoff game in 26 years. They hadn't won a Super Bowl. I wanted to tell you, you hadn't won a Super Bowl since you were swimming in your dad's sack, but I tried to be a gentleman. I didn't want to start no trouble, but it was a wild time. Had a great time, and made the trip back yesterday. And you know, training camp start, man. Ready to get this season going, man.
Well, I tell you, I was kind of surprised. First of all, she made an amateur mistake by stepping you, especially at that point in the night. But you know, yeah. I was surprised. Woke up Sunday morning to click on a live video from 7 hours ago. Oh yes, so I watch it. It was pretty funny. I went to watch it again. It was so funny, and it was gone. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I had Kelly's in here. I saw Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly did this once, and sometimes, you know, you make a video, and I did that. You know, I did the video, and I'm like, I didn't remember what I said. obviously I was,
was fine.
partaking of some alcoholic beverages. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I said. I better delete it because I was mobile, so I couldn't really watch it or make sure everything was right. So the fastest and easiest thing to do was err on the side of caution and just go ahead and delete it. It had some views, so some people saw it. Some people got a chance to see it. You obviously saw it once. So you said it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't bad, but
It was great. It was funny.
Anything after midnight, maybe I say the wrong things. I don't get myself in trouble. So I figured I'd just go ahead and take it easy. I'll take it easy on that. So.
Well, it's funny though, because I was with Camo and a bunch of other friends went down to the beach down on the Jersey Shore. And, we sent a couple drunk texts out. I know Cuts was the recipient of one of them. We looked at the clocks. It's an hour earlier over there in Texas. But I tell you one thing, and I know we're going to get to football here in a minute. So there was Wednesday, his kid and I said, I want to go pick up Philly cheesesteaks at Skinny Joey's over in South Philly. So we go there and I said, you know what? The kid's never been to Philly. So we went to the Rocky statue to see the most famous athlete ever from Philly. We went to the Liberty Bell.
They pay homage to. The fictional character is the greatest athlete in Philadelphia history. The one they bow down to every day. And I like him. He's a Paisan. So go ahead.
No, he's a Paisan. But again, like you said, the most famous athlete in the history of Philadelphia. So anyway, we go there. We go to Liberty Bell. That's where I put on X. I'm going to recreate the crack in the Liberty Bell. But anyways, I tell you, it was a fun visit. We had a good time. But what a dump. What a disgusting, filthy, raunchy place. Dogs crapping in the middle of the sidewalk, filth and garbage. Stinks. I had to hold my breath. Like I needed oxygen.
That's below you and the wife's standards. You understand?
That's right. I didn't even have a gun. So I tell you, it was a good time, but I'm in no hurry to tour the city again.
No.
We've been Rocky fans, Carl. Come on. Eagles fan, but Rocky's the more famous than any Eagle ever.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with some Rocky, man. I even like the Rocky 5, which was probably one of the worst ones. I even like that one. So
no, trash people on strike, more like trash people walking the streets, Carl.
Yeah.
Danny, Danny, it was a good day. It really was. Like I'm being pretty serious about some of the filth and shit and stuff around the place, but it is really cool. There's a lot of history there, and besides Rocky and Independence Hall and all that stuff, and the cheesesteak from Skinny Joey's was freaking great. Better than Geno's and Pat's.
Well, I went there for you told the story. I went there for the draft one time, and it was when my son was probably like 12 or 13, whenever it was. And I mean, it was or he might have been a little older, might have been 14. And it was just, people there trash, most of them. It's a shame. City was all right, but I wouldn't put a nickel into that dump. I wouldn't. I would never go to a game there. I have no interest in going there. None. Never go there again.
Can you hear me right now? I'm frozen.
I can't. You got a smile on your face. You look like the grandparents who was catatonic in the closet. So I thought, let me see. They said you're frozen. You got that smile. Why you got that smile on your face? Let me move you back and move you back in. Maybe get a reset. I don't know. Here, we'll see if you get a reset. See if Jimmy gets a reset. But more importantly, guys, it is getting to be closer and closer to about that time. And we're getting ready to get this party started because training camp is now started. And what does that mean? That means we got the Cowboys Cave third annual tailgate party is going to be coming up week 4, I believe, against the Green Bay Packers Sunday night. So I don't know what's going to happen with this tailgate party because we haven't done one. I mean, Kelly and Cuts, if you guys are still hanging, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never done a tailgate party for a Sunday night game. So I'm not sure how we have to hold the spot down. Usually we have to go the night before. I don't know if it's still the same or maybe it's a little earlier. We can get a few hours of sleep in, but it's going to be a little crazy. So make sure you guys head out there. Make sure you guys hit up Cuts for that paddle, that custom Cowboys Cave commemorative paddle, because we'll be spanking that ass this year and you're going to need it. And hey, you got, it might be one of those things you keep in your car. You see all this stuff going on in the streets, you'll be able to defend yourself a little bit if you're getting a little fender bender or something. So definitely hit Cuts up for one of those paddles. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be, I don't know how many spots we're going to try and get. Maybe 3, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be fun. We'll be doing our I did a live show. I think we went for like 6 hours when we were out there last time. So we'll probably do the same thing, do a live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Jimmy said he's restarting everything. So we'll get Jimmy back here. But until then, you got my smiling face, and might as well, because if you're talking Cowboys, I hate to say it, Jimmy D, we don't need you. I love you. But your boy right here, along with this chat, we could talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on. And just like anything, it's like Christmas. The one thing that you do when it's training camp, you kind of get all set up, and about 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Cowboys time, it's lo and behold, you see old Jerry Jones. You see Jerry Jones, you see Stephen Jones, you got the coach there, and then they spew all their bullshit, but it sounds so good. I always say Jerry is one of the best salesmen in the business, and I enjoy listening to him. I think some of it's funny. I take everything he says with a grain of salt. I'm not going to get all crazy about it. Let me fix Jimmy's back in here. So let me get Jimmy back in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, for some reason.
Can you hear me?
Good. I can hear you.
Sorry.
And I can hear you.
Good.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Was that the TV?
All right. We're good. All right. So Jerry Jones does his thing, and we all listen to it. It gets you. It makes me laugh. It makes me angry. I go through all ranges of emotion with Jerry and kind of this kickoff. But this is the start of the season. This is where it's at. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to listen to the press conference. We'll talk a little bit about it. I'll give you some of my thoughts on it. Probably the biggest thing that was talked about, of course, was Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons, still waiting on a new contract. So, Jimmy, I don't know if you listened to the press conference. If not, I can kind of get you up to date on some of the highlights along with Cowboys Nation. But did you pay any attention to Jerry Jones and what he was speaking?
You mean talking about Micah Parsons' injury last year as an issue for holding off the contract?
Well, it wasn't necessarily that. He was saying that there was no guarantees and everything. And, J.J. Watt, and this was reposted by Micah Parsons. J.J. Watt said basically anytime you publicly, you take a slight or take a shot at your, quarterback and your two best players on the team, I mean, I just don't get it. And Micah Parsons retweeted this. I just don't understand why they just can't be focused on football. I mean, you got a new coach. You're trying to get this culture. You're building a new culture. You're getting everything going. And I just don't understand. Yeah, he threw Steele under the bus. He threw Diggs under the bus, saying that maybe they should have waited on their contract. But then when people ask him about the contract, then they sit there and say, well, we don't want to talk about anybody's business. But then they talk about everyone's business on their side. You know what I mean? They give their side, and they put their players in a bad position. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it.
But my thing is when Watt signed last week, I said, I figured this week we'd already be talking about Parsons' contract.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked that that's the way it went down today. It's every year. I know it just from watching sports, but especially being here in the cave, it's every freaking year that there's something stupid that's said. And why you gotta, you're trying to build a culture in the locker room. What does this do? This ruffles feathers. This doesn't help the cause.
Well, and then you have Tyler Smith. They were talking about him and his. He's going to be up next year. So it seems like an annual thing for the Cowboys and really Jerry Jones, and you throw Stephen Jones in it. And probably the person I feel the worst for is Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah. He says everything right to me. He just has that mindset. He's focused on football. He's saying all the right things about what he's trying to build with this organization. And I see a lot. Obviously his father was a great head coach, but you could just see he has that. And he's trying to build something. And then you got these guys, this Jerry and Steven show that just take it over, and it's about them. and it's about the headline. You got to hear the stories about, if I have to hear it one more time about how he risked everything for it. Well, Jesus, you risked everything. That was 30 years ago. You get $10 billion, $20 billion, whatever you are worth now. We understand. We don't need to hear the story over and over again. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about what you're doing to get this team prepared and ready to win a Super Bowl. And what you don't do is keep bringing up all the players and all the past and all the contracts. Focus on today. Get the shit done. He's going to be the highest non-defensive quarterback. Everyone knows that. We're not stupid. Get the shit done and move on and focus on football and focus on winning.
And see, Chris is right. That's the one thing. Arthur Blank, he stays on the sidelines. He stays behind the scenes. He knows when to keep his mouth shut. Now, that's the thing. Do you think that with Jerry and Steven, it's just they want everybody to know they're bigger than the team, so they say this stupid shit just to get out there?
It's ego.
It's ego. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Again, I love that, and I get suckered into it because I sit and listen to it for an hour and a half, and I laugh, and I get mad, and I smile because I know he's full of shit, and I know it's all for the camera, and I know it's all for show, and then I look at it's the same way when McCarthy was there. You look at, now I'm looking at Schottenheimer, and I'm looking at Schotty just trying to, he's just focusing on the questions that are about football. He's focusing on what he's trying to build with this team, with this offense, with the coaching staff, with the new players, and you just get undermined over and over by the Joneses. And it is, it's the life of a Cowboys fan. That's unfortunate, but it's I always say you got to win in spite of. Do we have a guest here? Do we have a guest?
We do.
If we got a guest, I gotta figure this thing out because
boy.
I think we got it.
Where'd he go?
Let me get this right so we're good. I got to change some. Hang on.
Do it. I'll address Danny. Danny, the thing is, why would you say stupid shit before it's even if after it's done? It's the stupid stuff that's said. Kelly, what's going on, man?
What's up, fellas?
Well, we're just listening to Jerry being Jerry, and we're just reminiscing about it. And I know you had some comments. I saw some tweets and stuff like that. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this shit?
Well, I got my nephew from San Antonio and I was on his way over here, and I'm going to take him out to dinner. But I figured I had a couple minutes. I wanted to pop on real quick because, I saw the whole Jerry thing, man, and I just. I know some of the stuff is for reaction, and there's always a portion of the fan base that kind of rides for Jerry. That's like, what, everybody's just kind of blowing these things out of proportion. My whole thing is this, though. Okay, we all know that if you sign a guy to a contract, this possibility he could get injured. There's no reason for him to say that shit, though. Like, that's an unnecessary jab at a player that got injured for you. Trying to win you a Super Bowl, talking about Micah, talking about Dak Prescott. There's no need to bring up their injuries at all, period. It was pointless. The only reason to say that is pettiness. That's the only reason to say it, is to make Jerry feel like that he's doing something that no other owner doesn't know that possibility is out there. That's like me going to buy a used car and saying, well, if I pay this $20,000 for this used car, it could break down. So, I mean, maybe you should sell it to me for $18,000. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's a fucking used car, man. I mean, like, it's just unnecessary shit for him to say. And it keeps giving people ammunition, people fuel. Again, you don't see any other owner or GM talk like Jerry talks. It's just infuriating to hear him talk like that, man.
And you know what it is? Kelly and Mike, you got people like Carl, the Eagles, they love it when he opens it.
Oh, they eat it up. Yeah. I mean, I would too if I was a fan of another team and I saw this incompetent asshole sitting over here trying to run this team into the ground and continually make us into a circus and a clown show.
And really, and I agree 100%. What's your thoughts of Schottenheimer? You watch the press conference, you see.
Man, I want to hear more from him.
Yeah, exactly. I want
to hear more from him.
He's saying the right things and wants to do the right things, and then you got these two guys that just can't help themselves.
I mean, I literally said I feel bad for Schottenheimer. I feel like he's trying to run up a mud hill wearing slides. I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? Because it's like you said, I heard you right before I jumped on, was that it's the whole Mike McCarthy situation all over again. You see the look on Schottenheimer's face where it's almost like he's just like, almost that he's kind of hide a cringe, you know what I mean? Because it's saying some of the things that Jerry and Steven say, it has us cringing. And it's not just us fans. I mean, it's it's guys like Brad Sham, it's guys that like Kevin Gray, it's guys that cover the team that hear these things that are like, you know what, this is not the way that an owner should talk. You know what I mean? Like, take the mic away from him, get Jerry off the stage. I've said it for years, man. Sometimes you got to know when it's time to take grandpa's keys and he can't drive no more. Somebody need to take Jerry's keys, because some of the shit that he says is just, and obviously Micah took it the same way that us fans are taking it. I don't know if you saw Micah retweeted JJ Watt's tweet.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
And I mean, so it's not just us fans feeling the disrespect. Yeah, Micah Parsons absolutely felt that was a shot at him.
And the thing is you're trying, like, Shoddy is trying to build something. Micah Parsons is his leader. He's talked about him being a leader. He put him next to Dak Prescott. You're trying to get something, and then you just get undermined. And do you think Parsons, I mean, they kind of back him into a corner, right? So if you're Parsons, do you go to camp? I mean, do you participate, or you just do the classwork stuff? Or, I mean, because then the fans turn on Parsons now.
Yeah,
you know?
and here's the thing with that whole situation, right? Because they have labeled in this offseason, they've came out and they went and they said, Schottenheimer went out and he's went out of his way to say, hey, Dak Prescott's our leader here, right? Well, or not Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons is one of our leaders, right? So now if Micah Parsons decides, you know what, I can play this game and I won't participate in training camp, how about I just go ahead and sit out, since you're going to throw shots at me about injuries and I don't have a contract, I'm going to sit out. And he would fully be within his right to do so. But then if he does, then all of a sudden you've got the fan base. Jerry's got, like you said, almost got him backed into a corner. Now they're going to turn on him and say, I thought Michael was the leader. I thought we were turning a corner here. I thought we were building some culture. So then it undermines the message that Schottenheimer has been trying to have in this. So you've got Micah in a no-win situation no matter what he does here. If he was tomorrow to say, you know what, I'm going to be here. I will be in meetings, but I'm not going to be on that field for anything. He would be well within his rights to do so, and I would fully support him at this point, just because I feel like that Jerry Jones, the way that he talks about, like, that is no big deal, that these deals haven't got done, it is a big deal, man. He's your star guy. He's the guy that you want to lead your defense. Then treat it like that. If you are working for somebody, you or Jimmy or I, and our owner or our let's say our manager, and then there's the CEO up on top, our boss says, hey, you know what, you're the star, I need you leading the ship. I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm going to take that role. I feel good about that role. You know what, I like that. But then the CEO says some shit like, well, we're not really worried about giving you the pay raise that you deserve at the moment. We'll you're under contract right now, you're still employed with us, we'll address that here down the line. You just keep doing more work, be that leader we want you to be, but do it for the same pay that you're getting right now. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. None of us would do that in real life. Why would we expect an athlete that's performing at the highest level to do that at his position? Like, it's unrealistic.
Yeah, but you got a problem already. Well, say outside looking in, you got a problem already because Jerry already opened his mouth. So already you're undermining the culture development with a new coach. Secondly, Micah holds out. Now it's like a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
And Danny's saying what happens when Steven takes the reins.
It's going to be worse. It's going to be the same.
He's got the silver spoon in his mouth. It's going to be worse.
He's saying the same thing, but I wanted to ask you, Kelly, before I know you're running to dinner, but Diggs and Steele. I mean, what did you think about again, totally unnecessary. Totally didn't really need to go there. But now he's saying, well, maybe we made a mistake signing Diggs and Steele. I mean, these are guys on your team. These are guys that are your veteran leaders, not the total leader of your team, but Diggs is a veteran leader of this team, and so is Steele.
Well, what I think it means, one thing I think that I've thought for a little while, that the writing is on the wall, that the Diggs is not long for the Cowboys. I don't think Diggs will be on the team. I think if he's on the team this year, I think this will be his last year that he's on the Dallas Cowboys. I think they could possibly end up trading him, honestly. If I could see it happening this year. I really could. I think that they could possibly trade him. I know that nobody's really talked about that, or that Jerry hasn't mentioned that, but just I feel like that relationship is fractured right now. And I don't think Jerry has done anything to repair it by the things that he said today. And I think that it's an unnecessary shot at those players, because look, those players, you sign them to the contracts that they earned. We always talk about this. We talk about when they get signed to these deals, this is not for future. This is what they've earned by playing at a high level. Because obviously you're not going to play a guy by like, hey, you know what? This is what you're going to play. This is what we think you're worth for the future. That's part of it. But most of it is because they earned it high level on the play up to that point. That's why you had to pay them that, because that's what they were worth at the time you signed them those contracts. So now I get it. The player does have to live up to the part of their contract. But the thing is, injuries happen, right? Diggs got injured. Steele got injured. They've been fighting through injuries. So to sit there and say, hey, the guys, two of the guys that we paid to play at this high level, then they got injured. Now you're going to throw little pot shots at them and be like, yeah, you guys got injured, so you probably weren't worth it. You haven't played up to your contract. Like, that's a shitty way of looking at things, and it's just a really shitty way to be as an owner, because these guys are still, at the end of the day, you're still expecting them to line up on the field and to give everything that they got to the team to try to win you another Super Bowl. These are your employees. If your boss is sitting there throwing little shades at you, passive-aggressive shots at you, you can't tell me that you're not going to feel some kind of way about that. And that's the last thing you want when you're talking about trying to hit a reboot and trying to change the culture and shift things towards winning. That's just not the way that you're going to do things. So I thought it was a bad look.
Another way to undermine the coach, because the coach has got to deal with it. These players all talk.
Right.
Other guys, it's just a bad look all the way around. But
I agree.
Yeah, you don't think the players are talking behind the scenes? And
Oh,
come on.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
anyway, yeah. Well, Kelly, man, we appreciate
right,
you
man.
out there, brother. Kelly and I will be live on Wednesday. We got our fan of the month. We got a lot of stuff going on. So it's going to be a lot of training camp stuff. So Cowboys Cave, make sure you hit that subscribe, like, share, because we got a lot of stuff going on all week, man. We're getting this thing rolling. Kelly, enjoy the dinner. Where are you going? Where are you going? Anywhere?
I'm gonna go to a new restaurant. It's called Sauce by Alfaro. They got this Philly cheesesteak. It's a Philly cheesesteak, but it's a jalapeno popper Philly cheesesteak, man. This thing looks absolutely phenomenal. I have to let you know how it is, man.
Now,
But,
now you're gonna have Carl blowing up the friggin' comments here in a second. Hey,
it's good seeing you fellas, man. We'll talk to y'all again soon, though.
All right,
take it easy, bro. Have
All right,
fun.
man. All right, later, fellas.
All right. Well, that was good.
Already.
A little treat getting in there. Get a little treat in there. So, yeah. So we talked about, some of Jerry's comments, and I mean, really, for you, Jimmy, you're a resident outside advisor. You got no skin in the game, so we could talk to you a little bit. What's your thoughts when you hear what he's saying about Parsons and everything else?
Well, I mean, the question is, it gets back to, I said it already. You're undermining a new coach developing a culture, because even right now, the guys are behind the scenes talking. There's players talking or texting each other like, what's going on? This is BS. And like you say, is that something that now you're just going to be distant about it? I mean, I know the players don't want to let their teammates down, and they're all boys and all, but sometimes people just want to move on from that crap and go to a place where you're not dealing with the drama.
And it's all self-created drama, right?
It is.
They do it to themselves, and the star brings enough. I mean, you don't need that kind of thing. But the biggest problem is if Jerry wants to be the marketer and he wants to get the team, keep the team going and whatever, keep it outside the lines. In between the lines and in that locker room, you got to let your head coach own that. That's what Jimmy Johnson did. I mean, that's what Bill Parcells. I mean, that's what these great coaches. You have to own that locker room, and you've got to own everything in between the lines. And when you start undermining the coach, and not directly, but indirectly, he's not purposely, I don't think, doing that to Shoddy, but he's just showing his authority.
His authority, his dominance, right?
Dominance over it. Hey, this is my team. You say what I want, I'm going to do what I want. I got no filter. And it's kind of become a joke. And like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan long enough. I kind of laugh at it sometimes. I don't take it as serious, but it does get you aggravated. It does get you frustrated, because I'm looking around and I'm seeing the greatness of Emmitt Smith. I'm seeing the greatness of Dan Reeves and Hollywood Henderson and all these guys, Giesick and Gogan. And it's like, these guys are about winning. And it's what Gogan said, with Jimmy Johnson. He was about winning. That's it. There weren't friends. It wasn't side comments. Dave Campo told the story about Jimmy Johnson. Dave Campo coached with Jimmy Johnson back in college at Miami. And he goes, I don't think Jimmy even knew my kids' names.
It's all business.
On football and everything. Business. All it was football. And you got to have that mentality. The great ones have it. And when you got an ownership that just kind of undermines it, it's just setting you up for just more shit. I don't know any other way to put it. I don't know any other way to put it, man.
And the thing is, being a Yankees fan, obviously Steinbrenner,
yeah,
but Steinbrenner wasn't at this level. There was twice. I mean, he would go after Billy Martin all the time and the managers, but he would never, with the exception of once where he went after Dave Winfield, right? And the other time where he was telling Billy Martin where to bat Reggie Jackson. Beyond that, he just said, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. It's all it was about was winning, not this player sucks or whatever else. So,
but did he change later? Like he was that way. Like when you and I were kids, it was everything was all about George Steinbrenner. Then it kind of like in the 90s, in the 2000s, it wasn't so much. He wasn't the forefront and the dominant guy.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
That's and they won, and it was about winning and keep winning with Jeter. I mean, and they built something. Then they had obviously Cashman, and they brought everything in. And it just you think that Jerry in his later years is like, you know what? There's not much time left. I mean, let's just no one beats Father Time, and he's he's 80, and I never want to say anyone, but I mean he's living on borrowed time. And if it were me, everything is about my legacy at this point, and I want my legacy to be this. And I'd love my legacy to be I won a couple more championships before I'm said and done. You know what I'm saying?
His legacy right now is tarnished. Even if they win, they're still going to say that's the asshole who was talking shit about my players and all this and that. You look at Steinbrenner, and I'm not going to go off topic here. I'm going to stick with topic. Yeah. He came in, and when he was an overbearing, he was not ripping on players. They won, and they went 3 years in. They were in the ALCS. Then they won they were in the World Series 3 out of 4 times. Then it was a hiatus. The 80s were good, but we didn't make it to the series. Then back in the 90s again. And even that's when you said he dialed it back. 2 different personalities of George Steinbrenner had dynasties with the Yankees, right? And I remember when he got on TV when they won again in 98, he said, you know what? He was so proud to say, hey, look, we are now the winningest. They passed the Montreal Canadiens for the most championships in North American sports. And he was so proud of that. And it wasn't like talking shit. It was, you can see he was proud. And that was his legacy.
Yeah. And I mean, people agree with you. I agree 100%. I mean, that's what Jimmy, that's what George Steinbrenner was about. And is he worse than Al Davis? I don't think he's worse than Al Davis yet, but I mean, there's still some time to go. I think Al Davis was a detriment to everything within that organization. Yeah. The Cowboys still win. I mean, they're still, even, in the last decade, one of the winningest teams in the regular season. Now, they got to win Super Bowls, and I think this is where some of the problems come in, is on the culture side of it. But this team is talented. This team has talent. This team, if healthy, should be a playoff team. Make no mistake about it. They should be. They've got enough talent. So it's not that they're not establishing, and accumulating talent. They've got good people, McClay, their scouts, they're getting the talent. The problem is the optics of what they do and the way that they handle their players and the way they handle some of this stuff. It's just unnecessary. It is for the TV. It is, Jerry says it all the time. Any publicity is good publicity. He sat and talked about that Netflix documentary at the press conference for 5 or 10 minutes. Then they talked about Landman and they got sidetracked on that. So he's about the headlines, and I'm about winning, and I think the fans are about winning, and we're paying as fans going to these games. I mean, it is top dollar. You're paying to go to any sporting event. Forget the Cowboys. I mean, go to hockey, go to baseball. It's expensive, and you want them to be about business.
Well, not for nothing. Is there any owner in the league right now even remotely close to the BS you guys deal with? I don't think so.
No. Who?
Not right now.
I'm trying to think who would be. There really isn't. I mean, you had Irsay right before he passed. I mean, he was a little odd, alcohol, and this and that. But I don't think you have anyone that brings the drama even close to the Cowboys. And look at the organizations that consistently have won in the last 2 decades. I mean, their owners, aside from Kraft, visiting a parlor or two, but I mean, he wasn't a distraction to this team and his comments he said. That was his own personal business. But most of the owners, the Philly owner, you don't really hear a lot from him. You don't really hear much from the Chiefs,
No.
right? You didn't really hear much from the Giants when they won. You don't really hear much from the
Nothing.
Steelers ownership. I mean, there is a pattern. And when the Cowboys, were winning, it was Jimmy Johnson was the face of the organization. Jerry Jones wasn't. So now there is nothing wrong.
Oh, there's not. Hey.
Guts
No.
gave me a tour, and I got a couple spots. He said, "Hey, he goes, I've never been there. I know nothing about it, but I heard about it." And
The girl's got strong forearms at those.
I don't know
places.
anything about that. I mean, but he just said, "Hey."
But let's look at the New England Patriots. Okay, how long they went with Belichick and Robert Kraft. Both of them flew under the radar. People would bitch and moan about, Kraft didn't say anything, and Belichick at a press conference is like talking to a mannequin.
Yes.
But what's wrong with that? He won. They won. How many rings? 6? Was it something like that?
6.
Yeah.
Went till
Give me
what?
one. Give me one.
Yeah.
I'll take one.
No. One pork chop.
One.
So, listening-
Carl's begging you to bet. Oh God, I had to put it on.
The other thing was,
I should have bet you on the Falcons game, Carl, last year because we beat you.
Yeah, he slapped him around. Definitely slapped him around. What was the other news? I had some other news here. Was no, not him. I didn't save it. I didn't save it, but tried to find it, but I don't think I saved it. Overshown and Diggs on the pup list. I don't think that's a big surprise for any of the Cowboy fans. Not sure what to get. I think Diggs might be back before Overshown, but like Kelly said, and you hear the comments from Jerry, maybe he's fallen a little bit out of favor in Dallas. He didn't participate in their offseason programs at the facility, so he forfeited. He wasn't fined. He forfeited a significant bonus that was in his contract, but that was his choice. He wanted to do his rehab in South Florida and work with his team, and that's every player's option, but he did forfeit some of his bonus for that. Overshown, I think we all talked about, he's going to be one of those mid-season, maybe you get something out of him by Thanksgiving as a given, but they started out at the on the pup list. And then lastly, I was listening to Bobby Belt this morning, and we're talking about, the running back situation, and maybe I was higher than he was, but he basically says it's going to be Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and Jaden Blue. He thinks Maffa is going to be a cut. He thinks they may keep Lipke in there as their fourth running back, and he doesn't really seem to be high on Javonte Williams. He said if it wasn't for the money, he wouldn't be there, but he knows as much as my postman. So, I mean, I'll take that with a grain of salt. I think Javonte Williams, if healthy, can be the lead dog and workhorse for the Cowboys, with Blue being the game breaker. But I know, Jimmy, you probably don't give two shits about that, but I just wanted to give it around the league. But more importantly, this is where I bring my man Jimmy in, is around the NFL. So we're talking around the NFL. Will Levis out for the year. Out for the year. That pretty much solidifies my man Cam Newton, however disrespect him. Cam Ward is going to be, which I figured would be, but maybe they're going to ease him in. But he is going to be your number one quarterback in I want to say Houston so bad, but
I know.
With the Titans,
Tennessee, yeah.
With Tennessee,
yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it there.
Crazy, huh? Can you imagine? It's already, and I know he's got Cam Newton, but can you imagine your last year's starting quarterback out? I mean, look, we're dealing with right. You're talking about drama. The only drama we're dealing with now in the ATL is the Kirk Cousins It's a minor distraction, but it's a distraction. Now he's going to the Jets, and it's just a shit show.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. Like, with what are they going to do? Well, you got me. Now you put that up. I was going to ask you. Okay. Did you hear what the Bengals guy said? And then we'll jump back to the.
No, I did not.
Back up. But Mikey Schefter, he's always breaking news for us. He's going to be our insider. Put that comment back up so I could talk about it. Yeah, Stewart is not signing because there's some clauses. They're trying to do some shenanigans. The Bengals are probably, the owner doesn't say much, but they're probably one of the worst run organizations.
Their actions speak louder than the words.
Yeah. The Bengals owner, he told Stewart, you're making a big mistake. Big mistake, but in the Bengals business. And because he said he's not coming back, he said he's going to go back in the draft if he wants, or whatever he's going to do. He's prepared to sit out. So, and the thing I don't understand, Jimmy, and you know how it is with these contracts are pretty much slotted. I mean, his contract's slotted. I mean, this is what you get. First pick gets his, second down the line.
Right.
There's really not a whole lot of negotiations. Not like back in the day when, you had Manning, you had Leaf and Aker. Back in our day, these guys, they'd be signing whatever they can get. First round pick could sign for some crazy money, and you might get a fifth rounder might hold out because he wants more money than the fourth rounder because he felt his position is more important, or this and that. But I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's just really
we're not paying someone to sit. You know what? Come to think of it, I breezed through something about that and didn't read the whole part of it.
And I guess he doesn't think he's a character guy. But why did you draft him if you don't think he's a character guy?
The draft was just 2 months ago. Give me a break. Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy. What a bunch of the second rounders have already signed.
And the second rounders, the thing with the second rounders, which held it kind of weird, was, I believe, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but someone signed 100% guaranteed or close to it or whatever. So then all the second rounders, they got together and say, hey, well, that's what we want. And like, we just signed our second rounder. He was a last draft pick. We just signed him a couple days ago. And they want, they're all trying to get as much guaranteed money as they can.
Absolutely.
And I don't blame them. I mean, because you're pretty much on a 4-year deal. If you don't pan out, you're pretty much done. Your career.
Or if God forbid you get hurt.
But, so you got to get the money while you can.
Especially in the NFL where there's so many non-guarantees and then cut you. It ain't like baseball and shit where they're on the hook, So, but.
Well, I was going to ask you, around the NFL, there really wasn't a whole lot. What else am I missing, Jimmy?
No, I mean, training camp starts and it's exciting because we're getting down to we're beginning the season here for real. Not all the talk. Texas
so what are you guys doing at quarterback? Is Kirk Cousins going to be on the sideline opening day?
Yep. Penix is the starting quarterback, and now the big thing is now all of a sudden Cousins is going to the Jets. I have trouble believing that, but there's always these rumors, but he's holding a clipboard. Penix is starting the season unless, God, knock on wood, he gets hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
that's an expensive backup. Remember, we could have cut him.
The thing I would say about Cousins, I don't know why. Did you watch the QB thing the next season? He was on that. I don't think he'd be a distraction. I mean, he seems like a team guy. I don't think he would create a distraction.
No, but it's any media, and I know we don't have that spotlight like Dallas does, but there's still anything he says. He's well, if I knew that they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, I wouldn't have signed with him. So that's a big deal all of a sudden. So that's the big deal. It's not a huge distraction, but it is a little bit of a distraction, more than what we're used to. Yeah. Pay Cousins. He's getting paid already.
He's getting
a lot of money. Wish I was getting paid to hold a clipboard like that.
Yeah.
Michael, and I like Penix. I mean, he's got a really good arm. He makes some good decisions. And, so I guess
I told you he's from Tampa. He got a street. His high school by where he's at. I think they named a street after him, either where he lived or by the high school and stuff. So they love him here in Tampa. One thing I was going to ask you, Jimmy, and not to change subjects, but, we talked a lot of Cowboys, man. Time flies when football season. We're already 45 minutes into this show. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that like and share. Definitely love it. We got a packed-filled week. I mean, G-Reg is going to be coming on a show. Kelly and I, obviously, on Wednesday. We're getting back in the swing of things with football, and we got 318 of you guys hanging out with us tonight. We definitely appreciate it. If you missed any of it, go back and watch it, but make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, and share.
Did you see Bijan was they were doing some sort of interviews wearing a Nirvana shirt.
Was he?
You like Nirvana? Oh, yeah. What's your favorite Nirvana song? No comment.
Well, I want to change subjects away from football, away from baseball, which we didn't talk about, hockey, but we're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about women's basketball because I'm just trying to understand. I saw that, they want to get paid what they deserve, and I'm all for that. I think you should maximize your potential. I don't know because they probably are getting a new contract. I mean, I don't know if they're getting a new TV contract. I do know ratings in the WNBA have gone up. I'll be honest with you. I do find myself watching a little bit more of it than I had in the past. Do you think, A, they're being paid fairly? B, if they were to hold out, do you think that would be the end of the WNBA? I mean, what's your thoughts? Just being fair as a consumer or as a business person? I mean, I hear that you know better than me. They say the NBA funds them, so I'm not sure how accurate all of that information is to this day.
They do, and it looks like I'm looking at Rick and Chris's comments, and I might be, getting thrown some shit at me right now. But at the end of the day, the league has never made a profit in all its years. Has not made a dime. And I've read a lot of different numbers on what their deficit is each year, but it's at least 10 or 15 million a year in the hole. Their contract that they have is because the NBA says, if you want our contract on TV, you need to take the WNBA with it, right? So the NBA is not only subsidizing the WNBA financially, but they're also forcing the networks to carry it. Now, this year, there is a peaked interest because, the girl, what was it, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese butt heads. So it's more.
You got the girl from Dallas that they're developing some stars in the league now.
Right, they are. But the reason why we've been watching this year, or you've been watching a little more because I don't. Clark and Reese. That's right, Mikey. Because of the soap opera. So you see the soap opera builds it up, and it's you're getting some eyes on the product. But for them to go out there and what would they pay us our? What was it? Pay us what you owe us. Pay us what you owe. What do you owe? Your league loses money every year, so I don't even want to hear it. And unless you got, and the only times I've seen those arenas filled is when Caitlin Clark is in there. Yeah. That's
but are they friends? Are they friends of the NBA? Like is WNBA friends with the NBA? Like they're friends?
You mean as like players and players, or you mean
like in the WNBA and NBA, they're friends, right?
Yeah.
Friends owe.
No, friends don't owe, Mike. They do because they want to do.
So the NBA is just doing that. They don't owe them anymore.
They don't. No.
That's an inside joke.
That's it. It's.
I won't get it, but Jimmy would pick up on it. But no, all kidding aside. So, and I saw a comment, and it was a great comment by
which
Rick,
one?
By Rick. And I think this is the one thing that they do need to consider is the sponsorship. I mean, Caitlin Clark makes obviously about 15 to 20 fold than she makes in the WNBA salary and sponsorships. I know Angel Reese, she's with Reebok. I watched the Shaq. I'll give a plug for that Netflix thing with Shaq and Allen Iverson. It was the reality of getting Reebok back in the NBA and the shoes and all that stuff. Definitely check that out. But they signed her and they got a shoe and she got contracts and things like that. She's on TV doing commercials. So there is opportunity for these young ladies to make extra income. You're looking with Sophie Cunningham. She's making more money now after she defended Caitlin Clark and gave the girl the elbow. She's doing I see her on social media platforms. She's doing a signing, a public signing, $189 an autograph. Now, I don't know who's going to pay for that, but they said they're selling tickets for it. So there's opportunity for these young ladies to get it. The one mistake, and I got to be careful because I don't want to come across sexist, but I think we have a 98 or 98% male audience. So I think the mistake that they don't make is they don't sell their beauty and their sex appeal and for commercials and for advertising. No, I mean, Angel Reese, and you saw Sophia Cunningham and some of these girls, beautiful girls, that they should promote themselves more instead of bringing each other down. What they do is they bring each other down. It's just like what I'm saying with Caitlin Clark is you have this person come in almost like the Jordan and Magic or the Bird Magic era where you had Reese and you had Clark, and you could be building them up, but yet they want to tear down half the group wants to tear down Clark, half want to tear down Reese, and nobody wins. But women, unfortunately, sometimes get jealous of each other's success.
Half of them?
Half of
Half of them do. Half of them.
half. Yeah, half. Yeah, half of Pinellas County.
So Danny says, "Look, if you're,
I don't want lingerie.
No.
I don't want it. No,
I want blackout goggles
watch
when I'm watching
lingerie
that crap. Okay, I don't even want to watch it. I want to just listen on the radio. But getting back to Mikey Schefter said the NBA is losing rating themselves. But Mikey, that's not exclusive to the NBA. Okay, I'm sorry. Here's the ratings for the WNBA. Like I can't even put my hand low enough, right? And it has been for years. It's obviously higher this year. The thing with the lower NBA ratings, NHL, baseball, even like professional wrestling, because of the attention span of people, especially the younger generation, they want to go on YouTube or they want to go on X or Instagram or whatever it is and watch clips. That's what they do nowadays. So you're going to watch a 5-minute encapsulated clip of last night's game or whatever else. That's why.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is, I mean, what is the number one rated summer Olympic sport? Do you know that, Jimmy?
Probably volleyball, women's volleyball, right?
I mean, it is
course.
what it is.
Of course.
I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm trying to help the WNBA. I'm trying to help some of them out. And you see some of them take advantage of it. Angel Reese, she's done print ads and she's done some things, and you see Sophia Cunningham doing that. So yeah, Cut's got it. Beach volleyball. Ain't nobody, ain't no male species ever miss beach volleyball in the Olympics. I don't care who you are. If you say you don't watch it, you're a liar.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're lying.
Oh, now you just want to prove it to yourself.
But yeah, so I mean, that has been the big headlines, and I don't know, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I know they're slotted and how they make their money. It's not like, Caitlin Clark could have come in and said, "Hey, I want $3 million a year," and they'd have to give it up. But they, maybe they need to do something, or hey, if they want to hold out, I think the mistake they would make is if they hold out, I think that's the end of the line. I think that's
it is, because I'm sorry, they don't have enough in as far as ratings to do a holdout. I'm sorry. Yeah. You can come at me all you want. At the end of the day, it's because of the soap opera situation that more people happen to be watching. The league still losing money this year. And who said it before? I forgot who said it. Maybe Chris said it's sponsorship. They're making their money in sponsorships, and that's it.
Absolutely.
And that's great, and that's fine. You know what? It's a business. So if I'm going to make money anywhere, I don't care if it's for my pay from the league or sponsor. That's what I'm doing. But the league loses tens of millions of dollars every year, and if the NBA wasn't subsidizing it and forcing the networks to carry it, it wouldn't be on. It wouldn't be here right now.
Wouldn't even be here.
Thanks, Chris.
So also, just to give everyone an update, because I think some people care, maybe some don't. I told everyone I was committing to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I was committing to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they don't have any available seats right now, so I'm still on the waiting list.
Wow. So do you think there's an ETA for this year, this season, or it's
no? She said this year's locked up. But what they do?
Wow.
You know what they do though? They have ticket packages, so I don't think they have every seat for season ticket. I think they keep a proportion that they have to the general public. Yeah. I think they're limited on. I don't know. Does that sound accurate? Does that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine they would sell every single seat for.
But if you could sell every single seat, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, but
they don't. They would like to keep some for the fans. Because they do a 20-game package. I'm thinking to myself, well, I was going to do a 20-game package. I mean, what's the difference? But I guess you don't get the perks of the season ticket. Plus, when you do the 20-game package, you get the best seat event. You're not guaranteed the same seat every game. So you could do a package deal, and then so it's just a little bit different. So I'm not sure.
So can I ask you, because
go to a few games and test it out.
We're going to take a couple months step back. And I remember how pissed you were when you wrote the season ticket rep at that in Dallas. Is the rep at Tampa Bay still, treating you and
absolutely?
trying to
no, she emails me all the time. She's very nice. Emails me. We're going to get Lightning jerseys. We are.
Nice.
We're going all in. I mean, we're going all in. Someone told me the Lightning they're set to be kind of a downslide. I hope that's wrong.
Well, I mean. They played really well this past year, and everybody, Stamkos is leaving. You know what? They're still a damn good team. They got a hell of a goalie, and I'm sorry, but Vasilevsky is not that old, right? He still played great last year, And so no, I don't necessarily agree with that. They're going to be a playoff team.
Is that Valesky? You said
Vasilevsky. I call him Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky.
Andre Vasilevsky. Yep, Andre Vasilevsky. So look at
I think I'm just going to go old school and get a Vincent jersey.
Vincent. Man, now all the hockey guys are got LA go Kings.
Kings. Well, maybe I
thought they were going to go further in the playoffs this past season.
Maybe I need to put it out there and see what teams want me. Maybe I need to try and play. Maybe I need sponsorship. Who wants Mike Tag to be representing their hockey team? And I'll lay it out for everyone. And the one who gives me the best offer, gets Mike Tag to sport the jersey and go to some games. That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, I hope they finally get you settled. You know what I mean? Because you're a sports guy, regardless, right? Obviously, you're Dallas is your big fandom, but Bugsy's chiming in.
Yeah, Capitals. I like their uniforms. I heard that's they're an up and coming team, right? They're pretty good. What did Mikey say?
No, I was just putting them on there. Nick Paul. Oh, you saw he scored 2 goals in your first Lightning game. So now you're going to get a Nick Paul jersey.
Who's Nick Paul? Is he on the Lightning?
I guess so. No? Tampa Rangers home game. That's a Rangers, New York Rangers.
No, that's what's going to Tampa because we got the water, we got everything else that comes with it. So, yes, that is one of my prize possessions. Let me see if I can get over here. Where's it?
We're going to pull the stuff off the walls. You're going to ruin his man cave right here in front of us. Don't drop any of those Polaroids, Mike.
A trick too. I don't know if people noticed, Jimmy, but I redid my cave, and not everyone sees that. So I did redesign my cave. But one of the tricks is to a good cave is command strips. The beauty of command strips is you can center, get all your lines right. Because if your lines aren't right, it looks like shit. And if you just hang the one part of your frame, it could slide to this way, it could go that way. It ends up looking terrible.
Kind of like a windshield wiper.
This is one of my favorite, Jimmy, one of my favorite pieces, and I'm glad my man brought this up. But if you could see, that's Herschel Walker, personalized to me, each one. And that's when they were the dynamic duo back in the mid late 80s. But then we traded Herschel. Well, Tony Dorsett left, and then we traded Herschel Walker to the Vikings that helped deliver us
some Super Bowls, right?
So it's like Kevin Gogan said. He goes, "I miss Herschel every day when I kiss my rings."
So,
oh man! But anyway,
yeah, no. Nick Paul will be back with the Lightning. Mikey Schefter. Yeah. So yeah, I had to double check that. So
well, now it looks like I got a blank spot. So the reason I have the blank spot is because I took the picture down. I don't want people saying, "What happened to Mike Tag?" But I don't know if you noticed. So I redid my cave, and if you notice, see how those pictures there used to be down here. I did my Sports Illustrated, and then they were vertical. Now what I did was horizontal this way, horizontal that way. Straight line here, separator, straight line there, because you have to change when you get that new season, you gotta change the mojo a little bit. We gotta, I don't know if you do that, Jimmy. Are you superstitious?
No, I used to be, yeah. And it was a great habit to break. But anyway,
well,
I don't blame you.
I get a little crazy, and I redid the front here. I got a Des Bryant #1 draft pick. That's for my son, but it stays in here. I thought he'd like that. And then I got a few other things that I've got some old school stuff. A great friend of mine got me a Tony Dorsett glass to go along with my Randy White glass that he got me. I won't mention any names, cuts, but I do appreciate it. Made it into the cave safe and sound. So definitely.
No, I got to say, well, you got a geometry major or something? I mean, all those, it looks perfect.
You got
everything looks perfect. It's all like, perfectly aligned. Yes.
You remember what Chubb said?
What?
It's all in the hips. It's all in the strips. It's all in the strips, man. It's all in the strips. I was thinking about being an interior decorator for man caves. Do you think I should do like a reality show? Like I go to your house, I set you up, I get you right, get everything looking perfect. We record it, and then I'm like the John Taffer of Man Cave. I go over and I yell at you, what's the matter with you? I break you down, then I build you back up, and I get everything renovated, and then you leave happy. I give you a hug, and you tell me how great I am, and then a month later you change it back to the shitty way it was. I saw that when Cuts took me to one of those bars. It looked good. I went back and watched it. I said, oh, that's a good place. That don't look like the place that I just went to. The place I went to looked like a shithole.
I tell you, I love that show, and it's amazing. They said at least like 40% of the places that were losing money and the game a $50,000 makeover go back to the old. What are you, stupid?
It's just because they can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves.
Just like Bar Rescue.
That's what I'll do. It's Tag's Rescue. Rescue in the making.
Then you can scream at him. That'd be great.
Yes.
Screaming at the people.
Oh, my daughter's family, her boyfriend's family's from St. Louis. He's for what part of St. Louis? What part of St. Louis? Because I'm going to check with them to make sure I'm going to fly up. I'm going to fly up.
Whenever I hear of that, I think of Ice Cube. Remember, catch a flight to St. Louis. That's cool because nobody knew us. Shut it down. Shut it down.
That's what I'll do.
My wife hates that show. Like she says, when he starts yelling, it pierces her ears. She said,
"I love it."
North County.
I'm going to find out where that is. I'm going to make sure.
Once. My kid had a hockey tournament there. Well, it's actually, actually.
All right, guys. Well, it's an hour, and you guys know on Mondays I watch Below Deck, and my wife is waiting patiently. But like I said, we had a great time. It's training camp. It's Cowboys football. We're hyped. We're ready. I got 365 of you guys hanging in the cave. If you guys love your boy, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And I'll say this. I still got some tickets. For a game. And I told people when we get to 5,000 subscribers, I am going to give away a pair of tickets. And we're over 4,100 now. So we got 900 to go. You guys have about a couple weeks to do it. And 364 you guys in here now. If y'all hit that subscribe, if you haven't already, Big Brother, I watched that too. So we'd definitely be checking it out. But I appreciate everyone. Jimmy, hopefully you have a good evening. Everything else going well?
Everything's great, man. So looking forward to football season, baby. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming in tonight.
I appreciate it. I'll see you guys live back Wednesday with Kelly K9 and our fan of the month. Make sure you check it out.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.